Hey YouTube, it's Andy with Andy's Dizzy Vlogs. I just uploaded a video yesterday, Thursday, when I was coming home from school. But I wanted to do another one, I guess just because I didn't have a very good day today as far as my symptoms are concerned. All day I kind of felt like that buzzing, heady, ungrounded, wobbly sensation where I wasn't necessarily like, I wasn't gonna fall over or anything. I went through my whole workday, but I felt very uncomfortable. And so in my video yesterday, maybe it was yesterday's, I talked about how I started taking caffeine again, and I was using those healthy energy drinks as opposed to like a Monster or Red Bull or something. I just left the gym. But I don't know, I emailed my doctor and I did ask him about those things that I mentioned in my previous video, getting off gabapentin. He's gonna bring me down even more than I already have come down myself. So that's something. He asked how much venlafaxine I'm on. So he might put me on the slow release and then up it from 75 milligrams or something. But I've only been on the 75 milligrams since Wednesday. So tonight will only be my third night on that dose. So, but anyways, I just kind of wanted to make a note of this. So if you've been following along, like the past couple weeks, I think have been much better than since pretty much any time since this started. So, I'm pretty sure that's a good sign that the medication's starting to have a pretty positive effect. Now it's not to say I'm with no symptoms, but still a huge plus. The kind of triple PD where I'm constantly having that feeling of dizziness, I guess, was starting to be non-existent for the majority of my day, and I would only have the more acute symptoms, like when I walked into a Connex, or like yesterday at school, I talked about how the big ceilings, the high ceilings, the big rooms at big spaces seem to like throw me through a loop. But anyways, I just went to the gym. I'm leaving the gym. Went straight from work to the gym like I always do. And I had my energy drink at lunch, and I felt like garbage like pretty much this whole morning, and felt better after lunch, but still not where I want to be. And it's possible that the flare-ups came from either the caffeine or a combination of the caffeine plus the pre-workout supplement, which I don't need to take. It's not necessary. It's just something that I'm accustomed to taking when I work out, especially after a 10-hour day. I'm exhausted. I can use a little bit of energy to, once I get in my car after a work day, my body shuts down. Like, I almost didn't go to the gym tonight, but my goal is to do Monday through Friday. So I hit my goal this week, and I'm really proud of myself. But I didn't take the pre-workout today, and I felt much better during my workout. So that's, just something to note. If you, try to look out for your different patterns of what you eat and, different things that you do, your environments. I think that is what happened, is that there's some ingredient in that pre-workout that just didn't agree with my head. So like I said, I just got done working out and I felt stronger. I was not getting lightheaded when I would stand up from like doing push-ups or something. I'd stand up. Yesterday was like incredibly lightheaded for, you know, like several minutes afterwards, and just felt totally out of it. Like, it felt partly nauseous. So anyways, I just wanted to make a note of that it's possible that was contributing to the past several days of me not feeling as good as I have the past 1 to 2 weeks prior. So, you know, be aware of what you're putting in your body. And I guess the other message for this video is to just you know, so like when I got to my car after work, my head, that little voice in my head was saying, there's no reason for you to work out. You've worked out 4 days this week already. It's, you know, you're not gonna lose 5 extra pounds if you go to the gym today, so it's not like you're really gonna hurt anything. And there is a time and a place to listen to that voice. There are people that work out too much, and to the point where their muscles can't recover. They're not getting adequate sleep, this and that. That's not the case for me. I was just tired physically, and that happens when you work a 10-hour day outside, and when you have, you know, you're on a lot of medications because you have vestibular migraines. So yeah, I mean, my body was telling me, hey, you're tired, and my head was going, go home, get a shower, eat dinner, don't go to the gym, you don't want to do that. And I can say without a doubt that I feel so much better having gone to the gym than had I just gone home. For one, it gives you a little dopamine boost for completing a task that you set out to do. And two, it releases all sorts of neurochemicals that also are feel-good chemicals. Norepinephrine, dopamine, serotonin, and it's just good for you. So I feel better. I'm glad I went. So try, you know, I'm not saying you have to work out 5 days a week, or, you know, maybe you just want to stretch, but I guess what I'm trying to say is probably 99% of the time that you hear a voice in your head saying, nah, you've already done a lot this week, be proud of yourself. The idea is to, if you say yes to that voice and you do say, screw it, I'm gonna go home, I've already worked out 4 days this week, to not feel bad about yourself and to not beat yourself up and like feel guilty about it, but in the same light, try to talk yourself into going, because odds are, you know, as soon as you start working out or halfway through your workout, you're gonna be like, oh, I wasn't really tired, I was just like, it was just a change of state. So you know how like when you first wake up in the morning, at least for me, I don't know, people that wake up and they're like, pow, ready to go, I think are psychotic. But I think for me and most people, when you wake up, it's like the first couple minutes are like real rough. You're like trying to force your eyes to stay open. You know, your alarm's going off 3 or 4 times. You're like, this is terrible. You know, and after about 10 minutes, you're up and you're changed, and then you start walking around, then you're awake. But that initial getting up is rough. And some people going to sleep, that initial going to bed is rough. Because that change of state, going from sleeping to wake, is difficult to get your body moving. And I think the same applies to, I just worked a 10-hour day. I've been moving all day, I've been carrying stuff, I've been pulling on wrenches, heavy wrenches, crawling on the ground. And then you finally sit down and you get to your car. It's been a long 10 hours. You get to your car and you're like, oh, I could just so easily drive home. But that's the thing, you could just easily drive home. And I have goals of losing, getting below 200 pounds. And if I want to hit those goals, there are certain things you have to push through. And so try to talk to that little voice in your head telling you not to do something because you're too tired, because odds are you're probably not. You probably just need to get moving, and as soon as you get moving, maybe it does suck, maybe it is difficult, but you'll feel better afterwards than had you not gone at all. And that's often the case, and that's often been the case with me. But it is that initial talking back to your voice saying, I'm just gonna do this. And as someone who's worked out the majority of my life, 5-6 days a week, even with that background, once I got older and I work all these hours and I don't have all this free time and I'm exhausted from my work day and I'm dealing with the medical issues, it's a lot easier to say, I think I'll go home. But try to strengthen your mind. Certainly everybody's path is different for what they're dealing with. So this isn't a one-size-fits-all bill. But, apply it to your circumstances. If you're, I don't know, like when I was on my, well, that's a bad example. I don't know, I'll just make up a scenario. Say you're in worse shape than I am. Say this just started happening and you're like in the thick of it. Let's say you can get out of bed and you can move around your house, but you feel awful. Maybe make it a goal to, walk to your mailbox and back 10 times. Like my mailbox is 30 feet away. Say you make a goal like that for yourself. I'm gonna get up and walk here to there 10 times. And I'm gonna get a shower. And then I'm gonna do my vestibular exercises for 5 minutes. Or for 2 minutes, whatever. Something feasible, something that you can do and will do. It can't be such a small goal that it's going to be easy to not do it because there's going to be no conceivable reward. But it has to not be too much to where you say, I don't want to do that. There's no way I'm going to put myself through that. So it has to be a happy medium between those two things, which is tricky to do. And you have to find a level of challenge that allows you to just get through it and not want to give up for the next time. So that's for a lot of people. It's a lot of people's downfall with exercising or doing anything challenging, is the expectation for success is often too high compared to the amount of effort put into the endeavor. But as far as like I'm listening to Jordan Peterson right now, which I mentioned in the last video, yesterday's video, I think. But I think he's quite right when he talks about how people find purpose in responsibility, and people that do not have responsibilities often find their life quickly becomes meaningless, which is why you hear when people retire, they die right after because they don't have anything to fill their time that makes them feel like they're being useful. So even if you have vestibular migraines, if you can sit up in your living room, walk around your house twice. Pick a small goal for yourself. And then once you accomplish that, reward yourself with something that is beneficial. Like, maybe pick 3 things. So maybe walk around your house twice. Maybe after that, do 2 to 3 minutes of vestibular exercises. And you can look down in my videos for vestibular exercises. I have a couple videos. And then after that, shower, put an ice pack on your head, and watch whatever TV you were going to watch anyways. But give yourself, like, I'm going to get up at 8 o'clock. I'm going to go walk around my house 10 times. I'm going to do 5 minutes of vestibular exercises after that. Then I'm going to get a shower, and I'm going to put this ice pack on my head and have some, mint tea with honey and watch whatever movie or TV show you like. Give yourself a schedule. Because I think it helps your brain. It helps you, it makes you feel better. Even if you're feeling crummy, it makes you feel better. So yeah, I don't know. I challenge you to do that. I just wanted to make this video because every fiber of my being was telling me, just go home. You work 6 days a week. You already worked out 4 days this week. You've done enough. Just go home. Every ounce of my being wanted to go home. My eyes were shutting when I got to my car. I was just like, no. Something in my head just went, just get there. Just drive to the gym. And then I got there. And there was a woman, I forget her name, I used to listen to her, and a friend of mine just shared her video with me, which I hadn't thought about in a while. But I used to use her technique, and her technique it's kind of silly, but it's also kind of works. And she said she envisioned herself like a rocket ship, and she would count back. I don't know if it was from 10 or from 5. It was 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then she would get up, and she would do whatever it was she was going to do. And it sort of programs your mind, because we're all kind of like Pavlovian dogs, right? We're all to more or less a degree trainable, but the problem is that we're training ourselves 24/7 with our self-talk, and a lot of times we're unaware of our self-talk. Even though we're talking to ourselves all day long, it's easy for it to be on autopilot. It's very easy for it to be on autopilot. And a lot of people's autopilot talk is not good. It goes for myself. It's very easy to do. I can't remember, there was a study, I believe, where they had people think of negative emotions, negative thoughts. I think it was an EKG, which I had done. Not this experiment, but had an EKG. But anyways, they attach these electrodes and they measure the frequencies of brain waves for negative emotions. And it actually takes more energy to hold a positive thought in your mind than it does a negative thought. Which makes sense, because it's a lot easier just to be like, man, today sucked. And, part of me could say that, and I could be pissed off and annoyed, but instead I said, I just didn't take my foot off the gas. I just kept driving to the gym, and I got to the gym and I went, okay, now I just have to stand up, open my door, get my gym bag, go into the locker room. And then once I got there, I'm like, okay. I sat and I looked at my phone. I was watching the Jordan Peterson videos. And I was like, you need to get up and just get this over with. I sat there, and okay, and I stood up. I put my gym pants on, put my shirt on, and I sat back down. I was like, I don't want to do this. And I stood back up, and I said, just go sit on the rowing machine. And then I just put a song on, and I said, okay, set the timer for 10 minutes and just do it. And I started doing it. Once I started doing it, I finished doing it. The hardest thing is getting started. And then I went through the rest of my workout, and I felt a lot stronger today, and I felt good. So challenge yourself. Yeah, I don't need to say anything more. Just challenge yourself. And if you're not thriving, keep trying. That's what I'm doing. And stay safe out there. I'll see you on the next one.